Hello, welcome to Jennifer's Magical Book Club. Today I'm here to read a novel which is called Old Yeller. I'm going to continue reading from chapter 3, page 26, on the end of the page. So I'm going to start. The javelinas moved away, and I saw some bob-white coil feed into the opening around the legs. Then here came 3 cows with young calves in a run bowl. They stood and looked at the rocks. I watched them a while, then got to watching a couple of squirrels playing in the top of a tree close to the one I sat under. The squirrels were running and jumping and chattering and flashing their tails in the sunlight. One would run along a tree branch, then take a flying leap to the next branch. There it would sit fuzzing and wait to see if the second one had the nerve to jump that far. When the second squirrel did, the first one would set up an excited chatter and make a run for a longer leap. Sure enough, after a while, the leader tried to jump a gap that was too wide. He missed his branch, clawed at some leaves, and came tumbling to the ground. The second squirrel went to dancing up and down on his branch then, chattering louder than ever. It was plain that he was getting a big laugh out of how that show-off squirrel had made such a fool of himself. The sight was so funny that I laughed myself, and that's where I made my mistake. Where the doe had come from and how she ever got so close without my seeing her, I don't know. It was like she'd suddenly lit down out of the air like a buzzard or risen right up out of the bare ground around the rocks. Anyhow, there she stood, staring straight at me, sniffing and snorting and stumping her forefeet against the ground. She couldn't have sent me, and I had moved, but I had laughed out loud a little at those squirrels, and that sound had warned her. Well, I couldn't lift my gun then with her staring straight at me. She'd seen the motion and take a scare. And while Papa was good enough to shut down a running deer, I'd never tried it and didn't much think I could. I figured it smarter to wait. Maybe she'd quit staring at me after a while and give me a chance to lift my gun. But I waited and waited, and still she kept looking at me, trying to figure me out. Finally, she started coming toward me. She'd take one dancing step and then another and bob her head and flap her long ears about, then started moving toward me again. I didn't know what to do. It made me nervous, the way she kept coming at me. Sooner or later, she was bound to make out what I was. Then she'd whir and be gone before I could draw a bead on her. She kept doing me that way till finally my heart was flopping around inside my chest like a catfish in a wet sack. I could feel my muscles tightening up all over. I knew then that I couldn't wait any longer. It was either shoot or bust wide open, so I whipped my gun up to my shoulder. Like I'd figured, she snorted and wheeled so fast that she was just a brown blur against my gun sights. I pressed the trigger, hoping my aim was good. After I fired, the black powder charged, and my gun threw up such a thick fog of blue smoke that I couldn't see through it. I reloaded, then leaped to my feet and went running through the smoke. What I saw was I came into the clear again, made my heart drop down into my shoes. So I'm done reading till chapter 3, page 29 on the middle of the page. I hope you're enjoying with me, and see you later. Bye. Have a nice day. Thank you.